Hey, if you're thinking about moving to Henderson here in Nevada, and maybe you're wondering, what do I need to know about living in Henderson? What is it going to be like? Well, I've got you covered in this video because I live in Henderson myself. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to give you some of my top things that I think you need to know about living in Henderson and hopefully maybe helps you make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to start right now. So the first thing to know about Henderson really is it is a city. It's a large city in southern Nevada. And within that city, it's made up of several different communities. A lot of people, when they start talking about moving to the area, they sometimes compare Summerlin and Henderson. It's a natural comparison. I mean, I did it myself, if I'm being completely honest, before I moved here. But it's actually not really a fair comparison because Summerlin is a master planned community, whereas Henderson is a city made up of several communities. Some of those are master planned, some of them maybe not master planned in the older part of Henderson and downtown Henderson. But Henderson, as I said, is made up of several great communities. But if you don't actually take that time to do that research on the communities, then maybe you're not going to know the difference between an Inspirada and a Cadence, or maybe a Green Valley and an Anthem, or maybe a Lake Las Vegas and downtown Henderson, or Seven Hills and a McDonald Ranch. Maybe if you don't take the time to do that research, you won't actually know the difference. I think there's a community for everyone in Henderson, no matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for something single story and peaceful, well then, you should check out Anthem, check out Green Valley Ranch, maybe check out McDonald Highlands as well. If you're looking for a vibrant community that's got a great community spirit, maybe you're a young family, maybe you're a young professional, maybe you just like the sense of being around a community, maybe you should check out Inspirada or maybe check out Cadence. If you want to be somewhere peaceful and tranquil and where it's quiet and a really gorgeous setting, you like the finer things in life and you want to be away from all of the action, check out Lake Las Vegas. But that's why it's also important to take the time to reach out to me, and I'll put all my details there on the screen, and you can have a conversation with me then offline and you can tell me the things that are important to you. Hey, Peeler, this is important to me. I need to be in a single story. I need to be somewhere there's good schools. I need to be close to a major hospital, whatever it is, because everyone's circumstances are completely different. But when I know what's important to you, I promise you I can pinpoint the exact type of neighborhoods that you should be looking at, give you a few different options, and then hopefully arrange for a visit for you to come here and have a look at those neighborhoods. Because I always say, and any of you who've been around my videos a while now, I always say one of the most important parts, especially in a relocation, is finding the right area. The home can come after that, but finding that right area is going to definitely be one of the important things. And I don't want you to end up in an Inspirada if you want to be somewhere nice and quiet and tranquil. And at the same time, I don't want you to end up in downtown Henderson if you want something more modern and something more upbeat in terms of community. So definitely take that time to reach out. But as I said, there's so many different great communities. Some of them I haven't even mentioned on this one. So if you do want to know more about the communities and you're not ready to reach out yet, then at the end of this video, there's going to be a playlist that pops up and you'll see some of the different community tours and other videos I've done on the communities of Henderson as well. The next thing to know, and this is one of the things that really appealed to me when I was looking at relocating here. Obviously, my wife was already living in Vegas, but she didn't really understand the neighborhoods, the crime stats, the school district. I didn't understand any of that, bless her. So I had to do a lot of research before I moved over here. And one of the things I was adamant saying to my wife, if I move, we're going to have to move to Henderson, is because when I was doing lots of research, one of the things that I kept coming back to with Henderson was it is one of the safest cities safest, largest cities in the whole of the US. It's always ranked as number 2 or number 3 at the top of that list. And that's a phenomenal. I mean, yes, there's going to be crime. There's always going to be crime. And it's a large city, so you're going to have different types of communities and different types of neighborhoods. You're going to have commercial areas that might attract a bit more crime because there's shops and bars and restaurants and those types of things. And then even in the residential areas, I'm not going to sit here or stand here as it is at the moment and say Henderson's crime-free, because it absolutely isn't. But when you couple everything in and how the stats are reported and whatever way you slice it, Henderson still comes out towards the top in the top 3. I mean, that speaks volumes to me. As I said, though, there is always going to be opportunist crime. There's always going to be individuals that are going to be out to cause crime and have bad intentions. And that can happen in any community, even in the most luxurious and most private communities that you're paying extra for guard-gated and roving security. even those could potentially have crime. So there's nowhere that's ever going to, and nowhere can ever promise to be crime free, if I'm being completely honest. That just wouldn't work. There's just no way you could say that. And I think if they said that, it'll probably entice the bad people, so to speak, the criminals, to actually go and cause crime there, just to show that actually you've got it wrong. So no, it's not crime free. So don't come thinking it is going to be crime free. I was out filming a video tour in a community here in Henderson, and whilst we were there, the police closed off the roads. This was only a couple of weeks ago, and you might have saw it in the news. The police closed off the roads, and there ended up being a barricade situation for 30-odd hours, where the guy that was barricading himself in the home, he had done some awful things to an individual. And that, as I said, that happened in Henderson. You wouldn't expect it to be in Henderson with how the safety ratings are, but that was just one individual that was going to cause crime no matter where he was. And actually, he had moved from a different part of the country, and he had warrants there as well. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done about that. As I said, that's going to happen anywhere. But if safety is on top of your list, I think you should definitely consider Henderson. And if it is, we can always go through it again offline, and I can bring up the crime maps and the stats, and then you can also see yourself what I'm saying, and hopefully make the data make sense as well. One of the next things that appeal to me as well, as I am a parent, I have a family of 5 kids at this stage. When I moved over here, I had 4 kids. It was 4 stepkids. So family and schooling was always going to be an important factor in where we sort of decided to call home and put down roots. And that's what led us to where we are now at Green Valley. But obviously, you probably know already, if this isn't your first time on my video, we are actually moving to Inspirada this summer in just 2 months actually at the time of filming, which we're super excited about. But one of the things that really geared us towards the Henderson area is the schooling. So obviously the crime stats were a lot better than the rest of the Southern Nevada area. I think only really Boulder City maybe really competed, but obviously that's a smaller city. Henderson being a large city, then that's obviously a much bigger pool of people. And then the schools were a lot better in Henderson as well. So if you are thinking of moving with kids, and kids are part of the future, or you just know the value of being located near close schools in terms of maybe the future resale value, I think Henderson is going to have a lot of good options for you as well. Obviously, the Clark County School District is always ranked as one of the worst. There's no denying that. There's no running away from that. The stats are there. It's also one of the largest, I think it's the 5th largest school district in the whole country. And obviously with that, you have a bigger number of schools, a bigger number of students. And obviously how it's graded, can be completely different. What I used greatschools.org, I used niche.com, and then I used the Clark County School District website, the CCSD website, and then that gave me a bigger picture rather than just looking at the rankings of the overall district being shocking, and they are. I think it's also really badly underfunded at a state level, and I think there needs to be more money put into the school district, but maybe that's a topic for another video. The schools in Henderson, though, I think mostly, if you took that out as a separate district and had Henderson as a separate district, I think the schools would rank very highly compared to the rest of the country. We've got some really good schools. Just off the top of my head, we've got Ellis Elementary in Inspirada, Dal Webb Middle School, which is one of the best middle schools. We've got Coronado High School, which is one of the best high schools. We've got Green Valley High School, which is another really good high school. We've got Vanderburg Elementary as well. We've got Gibson Elementary, which is also really good. We've got Nate Mack Elementary. We've got Greenspun Middle School, Bob Miller Middle School. I mean, honestly, that's just off the top of my head. I haven't actually prepared a list of schools to talk about. But there's so many great schools within the Henderson area. And again, if schooling is important, I would always say, reach out to me and we can go on a Zoom together, and I can share my screen and we can bring up all of the schools and all of the data around the schools as well. I've worked with some people who were adamant they wanted to be near a certain school, and I took the time to make sure that that's only the area that we looked at. I've had other people who have reached out who have said, Peter, you're a family person, I want to work with you because you understand the importance of being near a good school, and we made sure we got a good home near a good school. He actually can see into the schoolyard from his primary bedroom, which is amazing. That's how close he ended up to an amazing school in the Henderson area. He couldn't believe his luck, but because he took that time to reach out and have that conversation, then knowing that how important schooling was, 2 kids in elementary school, and obviously wanting to then be near a good middle school and high school as well, definitely I made sure that he was looked after and near a good school as well. So if that is important to you, definitely reach out, because I've been there, I've done that, I've had the same concerns, And even now, where we're moving to in Inspirada, we're moving because of everything within the community, but also the schools are also fantastic there as well. So however you're comfortable, whenever you're ready, then do reach out to me. The next thing to know about Henderson is the shopping and dining. Obviously, we're surrounded by loads of stuff in Las Vegas, but also in Henderson, you know, I think it sometimes goes under the radar, the amount of shopping and dining options we have in Henderson. We obviously have the district at Green Valley, which is a great outdoor sort of mall area. You know, maybe a sort of smaller scale compared to downtown Summerlin, and I wouldn't really want to compare it to downtown Summerlin, even though it also has a station casino next to it as well. It's still not on the same scale. Downtown Summerlin is huge and phenomenal. I love downtown Summerlin. But Green Valley, the district at Green Valley is pretty similar in the fact it's all outdoors. It actually separates on two sides of Green Valley Parkway. So on one side, you'll have the Cheesecake Factory. You'll have one of my favorite breakfast places, Cracked Egg. There's a Whole Foods and a few other little stores, a great little green pavilion area as well. And then on the opposite side, you'll have some more restaurants like P.F. Chang's, another few great restaurants as well. And then you have shopping like Sephora. There's just a whole host of different stores. There's a little splash pad for the kids as well. And also on that second side is where they do things like the Halloween trunk or treat. There's a nice little walkway, which they close off to traffic as well. So the district is fantastic for lots of different stores. Then we have the Galleria Mall over near Sunset, and that's probably the largest indoor mall in the whole of the Southern Nevada area. Again, great stores. I mean, it's anchored by a Macy's, a Dillard's, and a few other stores, and then so many great stores within it as well. And then on the outside of that parking lot, you'll have more restaurants and businesses. There's a Wally Wombats where our kids love going sometimes, although my oldest is getting a little bit bored of it now. The younger ones are still enjoying it. There's a few other different places as well. So that whole area is fantastic. Right next to that, then you have the Costco on Mark Street as well. And there's a Target nearby, a Best Buy, all of your major grocery stores, whether that's going to be Walmart, whether that's going to be Smith's or Kroger or whatever it is, wherever you're moving from, or Albertsons. They are all very close by as well. And then near Inspirada on the St. Rose Parkway area, then again, you have another whole host of stores. You know, you've got another Costco up there. You've got a whole host of the big box stores, again, like your Targets and all of those types of stores as well. And in general, I don't think wherever you're living, apart from maybe Lake Las Vegas, which could be a little bit far out, I don't think you're going to be too far away from a whole vast variety of different stores, different restaurants. Down Stephanie and towards Sunset, again, you're going to have loads of different restaurants that you can check out at any time. Some of those are quite unique. Some of those are more of a chain restaurant as well, just depending on what it is that you're looking for at any given time. But I think shopping and dining in Henderson gets sometimes underrated because of everything Vegas has to offer. But I think it has some really good options. We obviously live locally, so we get to enjoy quite a lot of it as well. The next thing to know about living in Henderson is the outdoor recreation. If you love being outdoors or doing things outdoors, no matter what it is, whether that's parks with the kids, whether that's hiking as a couple or just as an individual, or if you just like to be outdoors, getting your steps in on the walking trails, because you know, obviously that contributes towards good heart health, whatever it is, there's just so much to enjoy in Henderson outdoors. And obviously, being in this part of the country, we have some fantastic weather. We have 300 days on average of sunshine a year. We have average temperatures of around about 80 degrees a year. Today now it's still towards mid-April and it's another clear blue sky. It's around 80 degrees temperatures, which is really nice. There's a little bit of a breeze outside as well, which is quite nice as well. Not too much of a strong wind, and we do definitely get some winds here. More of a nice of a soft breeze as well, so that makes it not feel as warm as it probably is. And there's over 60 parks within Henderson, and obviously those parks are getting added to, especially in communities like Inspirada and Cadence, where they're still building out the master planned community, and they still are adding parks there as well. The parks within Henderson have a whole vast variety of, whether that's playgrounds, climbing structures, splash pads, soccer fields, maybe baseball fields, basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts. I mean, you name it, there's probably a park that will probably have it at this stage. And the majority of those parks are free for anybody to use as well, but they are really well looked after on the whole. Maybe one or two, maybe they're not as well looked after, but you know, a lot of them have shaded seating areas as well, where I see sometimes people have outdoor parties, which is really nice. and just big green areas for you to have maybe the dogs or the kids to run off steam as well. Swimming pools as well. There's some swimming pools at the various different communities, or also the recreation centres that we have in Henderson. There's a few different recreation centres. Ones that spring to mind are Whitney Ranch, Silver Springs, Black Mountain, and then the Henderson Multi-Generational Centre as well. So there's some great outdoor activities in there. And obviously there might be a minimal fee. I mean, the recreation centres don't charge a lot really to use them. We have Lake Las Vegas as well, which is in Henderson, and that's got a lot of great outdoor stuff to do on the water as well. And also it's just super picturesque as well. So there's definitely a whole host of things that you can do in Henderson alone. And then obviously we're not too far away from Summerlin, and you can go Red Rock Conservation Area, maybe go on some of the hikes around there. Obviously it's going to be the opposite side of the city, but if you want to go to Mount Charleston, then you can go in Mount Charleston, and some great hikes there as well. And I think, again, like the shopping and dining, it sort of gets overlooked really, is the outdoor recreation. And I used to love being outdoors when I was a child. I used to, the rule was you had to come home when the street lamps come on, and then you knew it was time to come home. But whether I was riding a bicycle, or whether I was in the park with my friends playing soccer or football as we called it, or maybe playing kiss chase with some of the girls, I mean, we used to just always be outdoors. And obviously this generation now is maybe a bit more indoors. I certainly know my kids, it's hard to get them to go outdoors sometimes. So it's great that there's lots of fun things to do outdoors in Henderson. So just as a reminder, if you are thinking about moving to Henderson or even Las Vegas or Boulder City, please do get in touch. I'd love to represent you on your move here. I know how big a move it is, moving across the state, and I'll do everything I can to make it as easy and stress-free as possible. So you can reach out however you're comfortable, whenever you're ready, on all of those details there. And I will definitely look after you as if you are my own family. And then obviously at the end of this video, if there are more videos you want to look, there's going to be a little playlist and some other suggestions, and definitely click on one of those, and hopefully then it will give you some more information as well. And then if you have any ideas of any other videos you want to see me shoot, pop that down in the comments below. But until the next time, thank you for watching. You take care.